Hey friends, thanks for joining me here today. It's been really great to walk this faith journey with all of you, especially during these challenging times. And I hope that as you're watching today that you are doing well. Today's Tuesday of the 15th week of Ordinary Time, and it's a day we remember Saint Kateri Tekakwitha. Saint Kateri is one of our newer saints, she's canonized in 2012, and she's the first Native American saint. In her short lifetime, she overcame many challenges guided by her strong faith. She was born to a Christian mother and a Mohawk chief. At the age of 4, she lost her parents and her brother to smallpox, and in fact, the disease left her scarred and blind. At age 19, she became a Catholic, but she was not accepted by her tribe, so she fled to Canada, where she taught Catholicism to children and she tended to the poor and elderly. She died at the very young age of 24, but her faith continues to guide many people today. She's the patroness of Native Americans, she's the patroness of ecology and the environment. But I have to say that what strikes me so much about Kateri's story is the story of her mother, Kahenta. Kahenta was an Algonquin who had been baptized and educated as a Christian near Montreal. During an attack in 1652 or so, the Mohawks captured several Algonquin women and children. Kahenta was captured and enslaved, but she caught the attention of a Mohawk chief who eventually married her. In her adopted tribe, Kahenta was not allowed to go to church or to practice her faith or to have her 2 children baptized. But she did share her faith with her daughter, probably in secret. Her mother's devout faith must have greatly impacted Kateri. In a biography about her, it says that Kateri was adopted by her aunt and uncle, but she was often unable to do the work and the chores that was expected of her, and she was often found instead humming hymns and praying, something that she had learned from her mother. When she met Jesuit priests that led her to Catholicism, she was already a person of prayer and of deep faith, which she had learned from a very young age from Kahenta. Kahenta died young, never having a chance to watch her daughter become an amazing young woman, but it was her faith and her influence that led her daughter to sainthood. I think most of us can probably name the person or the people who led us to faith. It might be a family member, a parent, a grandparent, aunt or uncle, godparents. It could be a friend, it could be a total stranger, it could be an older person, it could be a child. When you think about that person who inspired you, what is it about that person that draws others to Jesus? Is it how they act? Is it how they treat others? Is it how they live? Is it how they speak? How did they show you God's love in a way that made you want to be a part of that too? In today's gospel reading, Jesus wants his listeners to hear him and to believe. He names a number of towns in which he'd worked mighty deeds, miracles, but where faith had not taken root. How does our faith show that we have heard the words of God, and how do we live that faith so that others hear it and believe it too? The Native American people have long modeled the call to stewardship of creation, seeking to live in harmony with nature. The Iroquois tribes had and retain a deep connection to the land, managing resources carefully and following the rhythms and the patterns of nature. And Kateri lived that also. She was known for going into the woods alone to seek God's voice in nature, and she would create small crosses out of twigs and leave them as stations for those who follow behind her. What are we leaving for others to see and hear that they might know that God is? That God knows them and loves them, and that he is present and at work in our world, and that mighty deeds are indeed possible and in fact happening all around us. Today I say a prayer of gratitude for those who guided me to faith, and I pray that I might hear and respond to how God is calling me right now. I also continue to pray for all of you. I pray for our country, for those who are sick and for those who are suffering, for those who've been struggling with economic challenges of these times. May God guide us, strengthen us, and hold us close. I hope that your day is a good one. And until I see you again, I wish you peace.